policy realignment, he will look at it. He also indicated that he's...
I maintain that is inadequate.
Thank you.
And there is more room for improvement.
Thank you. Further question?
Chairman, is a nominee conceding that the 6,000 per bag, rightly so, sir. Chairman, the nominee is being vetted as Minister of Finance. I want to ask I want to ask him whether economic...
Thank you very much. Though the instrument is very clear, you may proceed to answer the question.
So, Chairman, the instrument said Ministry of Finance. We are aware that the National Development Planning fiscal policy in itself includes economic planning. And so there's an interface and coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the National Development Planning Commission. We will accordingly do so.
Very much. More question?
Chairman, the instrument titled the Executive Instrument
that the EI will take precedence over the letter.
The nominees vetting on hold and expect the presidency to communicate the correct designation to us, because what you are saying, which I agree, that the instrument which comes under constitutional provision, Article 11, if we go to Article 11, for the avoidance of doubt, may we go to Article 11 of the Constitution, the hierarchy of laws. Give me your Constitution. Instrument. No, you don't need to be. 11.7. Any other order or regulation. We were expecting this to have been done. But I will not hold back your vetting. I am bringing this to attention of Chair, so that we get a new letter. And I pray that that letter comes before we take the report on the floor. That said,
this kindness. So going to bring back this thing, kindness. So going to bring back this thing and suggesting that somebody should have known something. I think these were the issues we discussed. Otherwise, what is the point of having pre-sitting meetings and then to decide on the path to take? And then in the public, we are making it look as if these issues were not addressed. So I'm pleading with you. You have your right as the leader of the opposition to bring forth your point. But you are taking us back a bit, and unfortunately, the majority of the people watching us did not benefit from the pre-meeting arrangement. So I'm pleading with you once again. I just want to remind you, once again, the shortest vetting we've had in this parliament since I entered was the vetting of Honorable Che. The opposite happening today is the longest. Just that on record again. And you were the one who actually brought this up and reminded us. And you are participating in the longest ever vetting. As for Parliament and Ghana, it will continue to exist. We just hope one day nobody will insist.
I had was with Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Backbin. Let the records be perused. It's not Chairman Sabonso, so you check it. So please, if I'm just, thank you very much. Thank you. Honorable nominee, we assume without any doubt that the president has serious confidence in you, your capacity to help finance his flagship, serious confidence in you, your capacity to help finance his flagship projects, and obviously values your projects, and obviously values your insight and contributions in crafting policy, to guide the development of the 24-hour economy policy.
Chairman, His Excellency the President, Economy, his office, prior to his nomination, have worked. We will make those policy public. Working with the Ministry of Finance. The 24-hour economy is an economy where the rare sectors of the economy doesn't sleep. For example, we have a mining sector, don't we? We want to see where the mining sector does not sleep, as against a situation where the mining sector, for example, does 12 hours and go to bed. The benefits of light electricity, they should be able to work 24 hours. And many other sectors. You have the hydrocarbon sector. You have the entire agriculture value chain. It's not just going to farm, but after farm, the produce must go to a warehouse, maintained properly. We'll be able to increase the workforce. And we've said, end up what has been produced, you can haul it to Takoradi port and ship them or process it. The whole process is what we
inject some funding. So let us know what funding arrangements
responsible for 24-hour economy. When whilst we were in opposition. Today he's in office. He will need to tweak it.
Any further question, Leader?
Yes, please.
You have a long way to go.
Chairman, we have a 10 billion public infrastructure investment plan proposed by the NDC. At the same time, the NDC in government seeks to introduce the sinking fund and cap government borrowing. This is a manifesto promise. First, I want to know whether you pledge your support for this manifesto promise. And if so,
that we went through. The banking sector today is limping, and we'll have to borrow to support the banking sector as a result of the haircuts that the country went through. And many others. Pensioners have to suffer. Individual bondholders have to lose their capital, some their medication and all. We need to cap the borrowing. We need to have a plan to cap those borrowings. And so we commit to that. Aside what you mentioned, the 10 billion big push policy. 10 billion over 4 years gives you 2.5 billion. Your
Have
Chairman, I learned something from Dr. Forsen. I'm not an economist. Mine is law, but we are learning. He once said there's a difference between releases and payments. So government will release to controller, and then controller would have to effect the payment. So when the actual, you can talk about actual payment when you are in receipt of your payment. Are you correct? Very well. So I would want to use that to clarify an earlier point that I made from the school feeding secretariat, that government released the entire 72 days owed the caterers to controller. And the actual payment received, our government communicated to the...
Mr. Chairman, I keep guiding the committee that let's be careful not to speculate, because we don't have the full picture yet. You may think it's 30-something days left, but you will end up seeing worse. So I urge and that let's take our time, get to the ministry, do a proper assessment as to the arrest due, and have a plan to repay. Mr. Chairman, today the government pays 1 cedi 50 pesos for a child to be fed. 1 cedi 50 pesos. Okay, and I've said that it is not enough even to buy egg. The big policy will be submitted to Parliament for approval.
Thank you very much.
In it, we'll give you the breakdown, how it's done, how we are going to raise money, and when we are going to start, and how much goes into each year. So the details will be provided to this House.
Thanks. Any further question?
Chairman, the nominee has two major interventions to make to meet a policy initiative of the government. And because you hold the purse, it would squarely come to you. One, the free university tuition for first year. Second, the extra costs to be incurred under free SHS to cover private schools. So these are two.
I think we should give the word tertiary its ordinary meaning, and then we can proceed.
Chairman, thank you very much. I can understand where you are coming from. But you see, we are a political class, and we are dealing with a social intervention deliverables. Those watching us would want clarity, and that is all I seek to do, so that somebody at Legon would not assume that university is university and that he or she will benefit. But somebody at the nursing college in Winneba who is doing a diploma in nursing would think that because they did not explain it, he or she will not benefit. So I know you had the benefit of knowing what tertiary means at the time you were drafting this policy, when you said you would give first year tertiary.
What we said, that's what we said. It's as clear as possible. In the next budget, if you have any doubt, in the next budget, if you have any doubt, we can clarify those.
Of this social intervention, the free SHS. So you have promised that you will extend it to the private secondary schools. You are going to be a major advisor to government. Have you planned, do you have a plan as to the number of students in the private secondary schools? And if so, have you looked at the cost?
Mr. Chairman, the number of students in the private school, so whatever target or whatever costing that was done was done with the data we are in office. We need to look at the data, the number of people concerned, and how much you are paying. Let's get to office. The president is only 2 weeks, it's less than 2 weeks old, it's 1 week old.
Well, the nominee is capable of answering the question. Other than that, private school is private school. The nominee is capable of answering the question. Other than that, private school.
Mr. Chairman, I'm not aware that Ghana International Lincoln undertakes WASI. They don't write WASI. I'm not aware. I'm not aware that Examination Council, they do GSC, GCSE. I'm not aware that Examination Council, they do GSC, GCSEs and A-levels and others. I'm not aware that $30,000 to achieve. I think His Excellency the President has made his announcement, and so we'll do what we have to do. The Honorable minority leader knows me well, that I'm a man of my word. And I can give him that assurance that whatever it takes, we'll come to this house and seek your approval.
Chairman,
Thank you very much.
is the nominee fully aware that in respect of the promises by his party in the health sector, the party engaged an independent body, which body gave it a minimum cost of 18 billion? I have the last two for my respected. Leader, that its financing needs will be alleviated from second quarter in 2025 as the service payment to bondholders resume.
You have to finance it. So you have to throw out the deficit first. We don't intend to throw out an unsustainable financing, where the gross financing needs is in a way that if you go to the market, you will not be able to finance and put further pressure on the market. So, as I've said, introduce the budget, and when we introduce the budget, we know development partners. There's World Bank, there's IMF, there is EU and all. So if there's any financing need.
For suggesting to us that repealing these, not introducing new taxes or other forms of taxes in their place will not amount to breaching the IMF agreement?
Mr. Chairman, you can rake in other form of revenue through
Overhauling the existing foreign exchange regime. As finance minister, what is the alternative? Have you any comprehensive foreign exchange policy you will pursue? Because it's not just enough to say that you will depart from the existing foreign exchange regime. The country would like to know how you intend to come up with an alternative policy, which policy will help to address the currency depreciation and build more foreign exchange buffers. We would want to know from you.
Or the next governor to be able to have the power to deal with monetary policy, particularly the management. It doesn't mean we are going to micromanage the foreign exchange regime. It means we are going to coordinate with the Bank of Ghana. So we'll coordinate effectively with the central bank to be able to manage Ghana's foreign exchange regime. That I know we will do.
Chairman, just a follow-up. You see, leader, your manifesto did not say that this is a mandate of the central bank. You will come up with a lead policy, which policy have a far-reaching consequences on the economy. So I think that to run away from it may be a bit unfortunate. It cannot be said by you as the holder of the purse that this is a matter for the central bank. Please, at the time you crafted this and engraved it
to manage the central our foreign exchange. The Chairman, policies. And you know that it takes both monetary and fiscal to manage the economy. It's not only the Ministry of Finance that manages the economy. And so it's the two of us. And so, Mr. Chairman, I want to jealously guard the independence of the central bank when it comes to monetary policy formulation. Monetary policy formulation and the management of the foreign exchange. That is in their purview. Let's respect it. Allow the next governor or the governor to deal with it. Chairman, I so submit.
Thank you for your question. I am told.
Chairman.
Oh, do you have a further question?
Can I finish? The duty, a certain British politician once said, the duty of His Majesty's opposition leader is to oppose. Rather, and we are opposing with all the energy in us, and we are being reasonable. But
let's take the last question.
Please, let's finish. But if the heckling is coming from the majority, then we have every cause to be. Thank you. So my question to you is this: when we had the depreciation of the cedi, your side in Parliament chastised the finance minister for not showing leadership in managing the. In your manifesto, you have re-echoed that same policy and manifesto.
Mr. Chairman, that is inaccurate. Mr. Chairman, let me also refer you to the same Constitution, Article 184, 183 of the Bank of Ghana.